from me. You don't know what's going on, so back up. Get the my brother-in-law.
Alright, Shalom. Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Akakodash. Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai. Bahashem, meaning coming in the name. Ba means coming in. Ha means dust. Sham means name. Rakah meaning spirit. Kodash meaning holy. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. And shalom to you, sincere brothers that are scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to you, sincere sisters that are listening in silence, as the scriptures command you to do so. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah, and pretty much, as you saw in the clip, I showed two clips. Now, one was, pretty much about SNAP benefits being cut next month due to the government shutdown. So, if they don't come to any type of agreement to be able to reopen the government, they're gonna cut back, I think they said 42 million for food stamps. So people might not be getting food stamps next month. So that's gonna cause a lot of havoc for a lot of people out there. Okay, and this is what we've been telling you for a while, that these things is gonna happen. And then, the other clip I played, pretty much ICE is going around arresting actual citizens, should I say, that's actually born here and lived here. They got birth certificates, they got IDs, they got all that. They're literal citizens here, and they're now arresting literal citizens in Chicago. So ICE is just grabbing random people and arresting them and not even believing what they're talking about. They don't even know who's a citizen and who isn't anymore. They just grabbing anybody up. They're grabbing anybody up. This is going into what? Martial law. This is what is taking place. And Chicago is having it really bad right now. They got protests, right? They got all those protests up there right now. You got ISIS locking up random people. They're not even knowing who's legal immigrants and who isn't legal immigrants. They're just taking people. So things is really, really, really spiraling up. You still got the shutdown. It's been almost about 2 weeks now since the shutdown we've been in. There's been a lot of things happening. And to add to it, I don't think we're going to be getting taxes next year either. Or should I say, people ain't going to be able to file taxes next year. Okay, it's affecting everybody, especially with these women with food stamps. It's bugging people out. People are in mourn. There's a Jake that did a video about how he's tired of working 9 to 5. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we're worn out here. We're fucking exhausted. Okay? We're all exhausted, including myself. I'm exhausted. I just worked 7 days last week. 7 fucking days. So just imagine working 7 fucking days, plus working 7 days swing shift, switching to grave, and working another full 6 days. We're exhausted. We barely have time to even do anything. It's getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I'm barely getting time to even study anymore because there's just so much shit going on. Work, all of these things, the days just flying by. You get shorter times of doing things. Things is just going haywire for people. Okay? And this is what it's leading into. It's leading into Jacob's trouble. So that's what this lesson is going to be titled as, Jacob's trouble. You got a lot of turmoil. You got a lot of things that's taking place. Things is beginning to increase on the earth. We're seeing a lot of things take place on the earth, and it's having a lot of people in mourning. So I'm going to read the article as well. I watched the video. We watched the video. I showed you the little post that somebody made on Instagram about the food stamps. See? And we're going to read it. And then we're gonna hit some scriptures. It says November SNAP benefits are at risk from the government shutdown. It says see how each state depends on food stamps. It says SNAP funding is at risk due to an ongoing government shutdown. Didn't I tell you that? So if they don't come to an agreement to open up the government and it continues to be shut down, people are not going to be getting food stamps next month. They're not. It says 42 million low-income Americans use SNAP to afford groceries, right? Because back in the 90s with $5, you can purchase bread, you could get meat, you could be able to get all of that with $5 back in the day. Meat was really cheap back in the day. In the 90s, bread was real cheap. Bread was like 89, probably cheaper than 89 cents, probably like 30 something cents for bread. You used to be able to get loaves of bread with $5. You used to be able to get at least about probably 10 items with $5. Or probably, yeah, with probably about 10 or 9 items, 8 items max. Now with $5, you could barely afford one item with $5. A bag of chips is I'm just giving an example. A bag of chips, I looked it up literally when I went to Smith's. Out here in Vegas, a bag of chips, a small bag of chips, is $5.89 just for one fucking bag of chips. You go to anybody that's in Vegas, go to Smith's and look at the smallest bag they got. That shit is $5.89. And half of the bag is full of air. So you only got a handful of chips. Most of the fucking bag got air in it. And you charging me $5.89 for some fucking bag of chips? Now we know that shit is unhealthy. But I'm just giving an example. So 42 million people is on food stamps income because of the rent. You got rent, you got bills, you got car notes, you got the light bill. And then out here in Vegas, they charge you for lights, water, sewage, trash, right? And also the pest control. I don't know if y'all know about that, but you get charged pest control, which that's an extra $35 to keep, bed bugs. If you got, bed bugs and pests and roaches from coming in your apartment, if you're in an apartment, you getting charged for pest control. They charge you pest control, they charge you water, they charge you sewage, right? And they charge you lights. And plus rent. So you're paying damn near $1,500-$1,600 for a one bedroom. It's crazy. Plus pay your car note. Plus pay your car note and your insurance. That adds up. That adds up, man. And then plus gas. Gas out here is $4.79, right? It keeps going down to 3 something, but it goes back up to 4 something. So you got to put gas in your car. That's $50 there, $60 there. You see how all of this is just oppression. Inflation is high. It says the acting SNAP director said benefit check may be smaller in November. So this is going to cause a lot of people to bug out because people got kids, etc. And then you guys are cutting back on food stamps. That's going to send a lot of people in distress. It says, as the nation's largest food safety net, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program helps 42 million low-income Americans afford groceries. While a pre-shutdown memo from the U.S. Department of Agriculture says the program has enough in the bank to fully distribute his month's checks, a longer shutdown could mean beneficiaries could see smaller benefit amount next month. If the current lapses and the appropriations continues, right, talking about the shutdown, there will be an insufficient fund to pay full November SNAP benefits. Acting SNAP head Ronald Ward said in a letter in the original program directors, the letter, which is dated October 10, it says, was seen by Business Insider. Ward said the program is working on a contingency plan and directed states to delay sending their regular record to enable SNAP benefits to vendors. It says, which would give the program flexibility to delay or pause benefits next month if needed. SNAP costs about $100 billion each year in federal funds to operate, which translates to monthly checks of roughly $2,500 to $1,700, depending on the household income and income and number of members. It says some states have higher SNAP enrollment than others. Data collected by the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows that about 12% of Americans were receiving benefits as of August 2025. And you see that? Look. It says percentage of state population enrolled in SNAP. See? That's a lot of people. You see that? So you got the highlighted areas, that's 8%. Then you got the shallow blue, that's 11%. Then you got the solid, so-called in between, blue 14, solid blue, see that, 17, etc. So you see that? So you see the states that's really populated with food stamps the most. You see that? Data may include some disaster relief funding, includes least of 2024 population, May 2025 SNAP enrollment, U.S. Department Agriculture Census Bureau. You see that? It says stakes are high for low-income Americans. It says this disruption to SNAP funding could have devastating impacts for low-income individuals, right? Because a lot of people that's on food stamps, because with food stamps, if you got a job, you make too much, so you can't get food stamps. The only way you can really get food stamps, literally, is if you're homeless. Out here in Nevada, you can't get food stamps if you making $17 an hour, $15 an hour, $14 an hour, $13 an hour out here in Nevada. They say you make too much. You're not getting no money. I mean, you're not getting no food stamps. If you even make $17 an hour out here in Vegas, you can't even get you can't even get healthcare benefits. They'll deny you for that. They say you make too much. So you literally got to be a person that's not working just to get food stamps. Literally, you have to be a person that's not fucking working to get food stamps. That's the only way you're going to be able to get it. If you're not working. Because otherwise than that, they're not giving that shit to you. They're not. So, of course, it's going to be a huge impact because those people that get food stamps, majority of them is not fucking working. And if they are working, right, they got a low job. They probably making $10 an hour, $11 an hour. But if you making fucking I'll say $14 an hour, $15 an hour, $16 an hour, $17 an hour, $18 an hour, you make too much. They're not giving you no money. They're not. So, of course, it's going to be devastating for them because they only make those people that are on food stamps. If they do got jobs, they're getting paid $10 or $11 an hour. You can't even fucking make it with $10 or $11 an hour. My fucking car note covers the amount they get. And if you making $10 an hour, you only getting probably like, if you getting paid every 2 weeks, probably like what, $700, $600? That ain't shit. My fucking car note cover that shit. My whole if I was to get a job like that, my fucking car note is actually just about that much. Your whole check would be fucking gone. You can't even pay rent. You can't even pay rent with $10 an hour. Not in this fucking country. It's not gonna happen. So yes, it's going to put effect on a lot of people. It says in disruption to SNAP funding could have devastating impacts for low-income individuals. Yeah, because they don't fucking work. People that's on food stamps, and if you are working somehow, you're lucky. If you got a good paying job and you can still get food stamps, you're lucky. Because out here in Vegas, or if you are in Vegas, it's by luck. Because out here in Vegas, literally, I have some relatives right now making $17 an hour. They literally can't get food stamps because they said they make too much. They don't give a fuck. You can give them the lease agreement. You can give them all the shit all the documentation that you can give them to prove or whatever what you need. They still would deny you of food stamps out here in Vegas. You can't. You making $17 an hour. You make too much. That's exactly what they're gonna say. No, you make too much. How? How are you making too much? That's crazy. If your rent is $15.93 a month, how the fuck are you making too much with $17 an hour? That's bullshit. But that's how they get down. It says the money can't be used to buy household goods, but it's often a lifeline to families that need a boost to effort essential groceries, right? Because groceries is high as fuck. If you buy a fucking steak, that motherfucker $25 an hour, $25, probably $30. If you buy 4 slabs of steak, you're gonna spend probably $80 just for 4 slabs of steak or 4 slabs of meat. Chicken ain't really that expensive, but it ain't really that expensive as steak. Steak, that shit is like $50 fucking $60, probably fucking $25 for a slab. So hell yeah, it's expensive. It says the program's qualification threshold follows the federal poverty line, which is about $15,000 annually for a single person, but varies slightly by state. You see that? We still have birthdays to celebrate, which that's wicked. It says Judith Murray, a parent who receives $1,171 in monthly SNAP. See, and this person lucky. Look how much they receive. $1,174 in monthly SNAP for her seventh person family. Previously told BI we have Thanksgiving to do and other holidays, which you see me out there buying a birthday cake with my SNAP benefit card. Just try to understand that I don't want to let my little ones down any more than you. See, so this is bugging people out. You got people that's doing this shit. It's bugging people out. And this is bugging y'all out about food stamps. Wait till you women can't or people can't file taxes next year. Because if government shutdown is happening, you're not going to be able to file taxes. That's going to bug a lot of people out more. That's going to bug. You think the pandemic was something? This is going to be worse. And guess what? Y'all not getting stimulus checks. They're not doing that no more. They already said that back in 2021. When Donald Trump was out of office, right? And Biden came in there, they said they're not doing stimulus checks no more. And with this funding bill, this is a funding bill. This is why the shutdown is. It's the funding is so bad. So people not gonna be able to file taxes next year. They might not be able to file taxes next year. It's gonna bug a lot of people out. This is how we know that we're coming into Jacob trouble. It says the White House announced last week that it was federal tariff revenue to bridge funding gaps for the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, WIC. During the shutdown, Trump administration has not made a similar commitment for SNAP and did not respond to Business Insider requests for comment. It says when the shutdown ends, beneficiaries can still expect SNAP changes. President Trump's spending plan, which he signed into law in July, will reduce funding for federal nutrition aid like SNAP by nearly $200 billion over the next decade. This is going to put a lot of people in distress. This here is going to put a lot of people in distress. It says the plan will also require non-disabled adults without dependents to fulfill work requirements. So you're going to have to work, which is a good thing. I mean, you people need to fucking work, you know. But Trump is putting it that people need to work. It says without dependents to fulfill work requirements until they reach the age of 64 to qualify for aid. It says up to the current cutoff age of 54, the Congressional Benefit Office estimated that over 2 million Americans could lose SNAP coverage with this adjustment. And see, this is bad because it's going to, a lot of people that's on food stamps, they got low income jobs. They probably making like $10 an hour, $11 an hour. I'm telling you, if you got 17, you making 17, you're not getting that shit. They're not going to let you get it. But this is bad for those people. So this is how we know that Esau loves putting the Israelites under oppression. And we know this is the shit that we be talking about. Excuse my French. This is stuff that we be talking about. Okay, yeah, we got to work, right? But you making it more harder on the poor. You're oppressing the poor, man. This is why we say we're in Egypt again, man. This is modern day Egypt. How the hell you going to be able to make it with $10 an hour? And then you're cutting the food stamps off and requiring everyone to work requirements until they reach 64 to be able to qualify for aid. This is it's actually bad, you know? I mean, we should work, right? But this is bad for other people. This is bad for people. It says with Senate Republicans and Democrats still in the stalemate over the healthcare funding, right? It says it's nuclear when the government will reopen. It says the longest ever shutdown in 2018 lasted 35 days at the time. SNAP avoided a lapse in benefits by paying funds early, causing a longer than usual gap between checks. It's unclear if the program will adopt the same strategy in 2025. They're not doing that, though. They're not going to give out no more stimulus checks. They already said they're not doing that shit. They're not doing that no more. It says money for other safety net programs like the Medicaid and Social Security are funded separately from SNAP and will be distributed as normal. So people are still going to be able to get their Medicaid and they Social Security, right? But except for SNAP, they ain't going to be getting that shit. Okay, people are not going to be able to get SNAP, man. So wait, I rambled long enough. So this is the times that we're coming into, man. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It is literally going to get worse, man. Let's get to this. 2 Timothy 3:1, it says this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous times. And we're headed into perilous times.
Perilous.
It says full of danger or risk. You see, full of danger or risk. Those are those perilous times, right? You got the protesting, you got ISIS grabbing and taking random people. People that you're grabbing is not even legal immigrants, as you guys claim you guys are arresting legal immigrants, but you guys are arresting people that's citizens and calling them illegal immigrants. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? It's crazy, man. You got protesters out there in Chicago. You got ISIS attacking people, random people, arresting random people. It's mayhem going out there. Total mayhem, man. Right? Jeremiah 30:5, for thus saith the Lord, anytime it says, it's like it. For thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. We're not in time of peace. People is in a mourn, affliction, and turmoil, and suffering, and in affliction. Got all that going on. It says, as ye know and see whether a man doeth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his lawns, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turning to paleness. Yeah, feeble and weak. People is losing. Food stamps is being cut. People is getting upset about that, right? Food stamps is being cut. With the shutdown, if they don't open the government, Trump is going to cut food stamps. People not going to get food stamps next month. That's going to put people in paleness. People is feeble and weak. You got people right now getting arrested by ICE out there in Chicago. They taking them young YNs and wrapping their ass up. Arresting them, throwing them to the ground, telling them shut up, and this and that, and arresting the YNs in Chicago. It's crazy shit going on, man. Verse 7, Alice for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of what? Jacob's trouble. And we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble, right? But he shall be saved out of it, right? So we literally got to go through Jacob's trouble first before we can be saved. And this is what is coming. It's the hour of temptation, right? Jacob's trouble. That's what it's leading into. It's leading into Jacob's trouble, right? Zechariah 14:1, it says, behold, the day of the Lord cometh, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. Verse 2, it says, for I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses raffled, and the women ravished. This is talking about Jacob's trouble, right? And half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. And this is going into Jacob's trouble. This is exactly what it's going into. Jacob's trouble. Ravishing. Women getting ravished. Men getting taken. A whole lot of shit, man. Right? Excuse my French. A whole lot of stuff, man. You know? This is why we going to have the faith and pray to Yahweh Bashim Shai to get us through. Especially in these last days. We really going to need Yahweh Bashim Shai to get through in these last days. This is 2 Esdras 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So the scriptures is already giving us a warning on what is due to come. What is coming. That word woe means warning or destruction. The scriptures been predicted that this would happen. So the scriptures already giving us a warning of what is coming. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. It's a warning. The scriptures already written that shit out, giving us a warning what is to come and what is coming. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. And it's going to go into sedition. You got protesting going on out there in Chicago heavy right now. It's crazy, right? It's going on heavy. You had protesting and fights going on out in LA. That was happening for a while. For the ISIS, shit is turning up, man. Things is turning up. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition, which sedition means revolt, rebel against, right? Among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, because they're not going to be able to get control of the citizens here. This place called America, they're not going to be able to get control of these people here. It's going to lead to civil unrest, and the military is going to be out there. The military's going to go way past ICE. They're going to skip that shit. It's like what's that game? Like Saints Row. Not Saints Row, well, I could say Saints Row or fucking San Andreas, where you shoot you take over a territory, right? You shoot all these gang members up. That's the first wave. Then you got the second wave. Then you got the third wave. This is exactly what is fucking happening. They're going to skip the fucking ISIS. This shit going to go to the military. And it's going to be a lot of things going on. The police and all these people are going to wind up not being in business. And you got the military taking over the streets, literally. And that's going to be the new world order coming with that martial law, man. All right? And that's what's coming. That's sedition. Right? And it says, verse 7, a man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. This is going into that martial law, man. And that's what's going to happen. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their goods with the sword. Because it's going to be in that time, it's going to be every man for themselves. That's the spirit and the mindset that people are going to be into. Every person for themselves. Even if you was a person that you knew for 25 years that was your best fucking friend, that person, you're not going to be able to fucking trust that person. Because they're going to have the mindset of everybody for themselves. To make it, everybody going to be for themselves. Right? And it says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for the great tribulation. Right? You're going to have people turning on one another, robbing one another, stealing from one another, killing from one another. It's going to be mayhem, betrayal. These are the things that's going to be taking place, man. Right? Skip down. We're going to go to the main point. Verse 23, skip down to verse 23. It says, the fire is gone forth from his wrath and have consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Verse 24, woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord. You see that? Verse 25, I will not spare them. Go ye your way, children, from the power defile not my sanctuary. Verse 26, for the Lord knoweth all of them that sin against him, and therefore deliver he them unto death and destruction. Because that's what's coming. Because this place called America is going to receive many plagues. One of the main plagues is going to be thermonuclear destruction, though. America is going to receive many plagues, right? This whore is going to receive many plagues. But one of the main plagues is thermonuclear destruction. That's one of the main plagues. Verse 27, for now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, right? Because there's going to be many plagues, right? But the main plague is thermonuclear destruction. And it says, and ye shall remain in them, for the Most High shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned a great sin. And you see that? And that's what's coming, right? All of these things is getting ready to take place and to happen. 2nd Esdras 16:70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, right? Because that's going to be the hour of temptation. Every single person in this truth, or anybody that's outside of this truth, that's not believing that they Israelite, that's not in this truth, you're going to be tried on your faith. You as a single person in this thing, it's going to be tried on your faith. And you're going to have to pull through this. Nobody in this truth can save you. Nobody can. You're going to be on your own when this shit comes. That's why the elders and brothers is telling brothers to build up on their faith. Read these scriptures. Study to start yourself approved. Build up. Build up. Build up fast. That's why the elders is giving brothers all these instructions and shit. Because when Jacob trouble come, it's going to be every brother for themselves. And you're going to have the faith to be able to pull through what is coming. And it's coming for every fucking person in this thing. You've been saying you're a man of the Lord. You've been doing breakdowns. You've been doing lessons. You've been going to camp. Okay, now the Lord's going to try every last one of us. We've been doing this shit for years. Now it's either the Lord going to put everybody in those things. Either you're going to be on the Lord's side or you're going to fall in and to take Esau's beast system. This is how this shit is coming. We've been saying for years. We've been telling people for years. We've been doing videos and all of this. Every single person in this truth is going to be tried in their faith when this shit comes. And it's going to come. Every brother's going to be put in a different situation and a different affliction. It's coming for everybody. So this is why we got to build up, because we don't have much time left now. Things is really, really, really coming in effect more every day. 2nd Esdras 16:71. It says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, right? But still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Because there's going to be a lot of things going on. You're going to have raping, killing, cannibalism. People ain't going to be able to get food, etc. Right? Everybody's not going to take that damn chip. Everybody not going to take that RFID chip. They know what that shit is, man. Right? Salakia. Everybody not going to take that shit. Verse 72, it says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right? That's what's going to happen. And especially in the time of Jacob trouble, you're going to have a lot of betrayal. You're going to have a lot of uproars, a lot of sedition. You're going to be having a lot of those things take place in that time, right? Revelation 12:12, because it mentions what Esau is going to do. Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the habitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath. That's Esau Edom, because he's going to be coming in with his new world order. This is why all this shit of this government shut. Why you think this government shutdown shit is happening? They coming with that new world order, man. They gonna come with that damn chip, and they gonna make that the new currency. I'm telling you, they gonna get rid of the fiat shit, and they gonna come in with that CBDC, that central bank digital currency, and everyone is gonna be required to take that to be able to survive and make it in this place called America. You gonna have to have that chip, and if you take that chip, you gonna be destroyed. There's no repentance for taking that. Right? Having great wrath because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Esau know that he have a short time. This is why he's pulling these agendas. He's pulling these by the strings. He's causing all this mayhem and stuff that's going on, man. Right? Revelation 18:2. It says, he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and become the habitation of devils, and behold, of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean, hateful bird. Right? Babylon is fallen. Babylon the great is fallen. Esau's power structure is being brought down. Right? We done read that many times. His power structure is being brought down. It's going to be brought down. Isaiah 14:12, it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? Now, when you go into the Hebrew word of that word Lucifer there, it goes into the Hebrew word Hallel, right? Which means light bearer, right? But who's the light bearer? It's a group known as what? The Illuminati. So when you go into etymology of Illuminati, it goes into enlightened ones, right? Enlightened. Right? Which that word enlightened means someone that's given of great knowledge. So this is talking about Esau's power structure being brought down. It says, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? This is talking about Esau's power structure. Esau is a so-called white man. These high power elites, their power structure being brought down. That's what this is talking about. That's why all of this stuff is happening. Esau doesn't want to get rid of his kingdom. He's trying to fight to keep his kingdom. He's coming in with his martial law. You still got World War III that's going to come. You got all of these things that's coming. Esau's going to come with his marketed beast, right? Esau's coming with these things. Luke 10:18. It says, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, right? And that word heaven there, it goes into the Greek word aranios, which means what? Power structure. Right? So this is his kingdom, his heaven, his power structure. The Lord Yahushua is coming back to take down Esau's power structure. His power structure is going to be brought down. That's why it's falling apart. It's falling apart now. And then our Lord is going to come and he's going to take down Esau's rulership and he's going to set his kingdom on the planet Earth. But before the Lord can do that, you got Jacob trouble that's coming first. We got to go through Jacob trouble first, right? 1 Corinthians 15:24, then cometh the end. You see that? The end of what? The end of Esau's rulership. The end of age. 2nd Esdras 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world. Esau is the end of the world. Esau's kingdom. Esau's rulership. Esau's heaven, which is his rulership. This so-called white man's heaven, right? It's coming to an end. His kingdom is coming to an end. He's the end of the world, the end of his power structure. It says for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. So it's talking about Esau's power structure that's being brought down. That's what that's talking about. That's talking about his power structure being brought down. Right? 1 Corinthians 15:24. It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom of the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power. So that's talking about Yahushua coming back to take down Esau's rulership, right? And then set his kingdom on the planet Earth, which we could get that in Revelation 21:1, right? It's Revelation 21:1. It says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth. That new heaven and new earth, that's talking about a new rulership, right? Which is going to be governed by who? Yahushua, our Lord, our big brother, right? So that new heaven and new earth, that's going to be a new rulership, right? Which Yahushua, he's going to set upon the earth. The kingdom of heaven is going to be on the earth. So that new heaven and new earth, that's that new rulership governed under Yahushua, right? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Continuing, it says, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. That's talking about Esau's rulership. This place called America, this is the first heaven and first earth that passes away, right? Because the Lord Yahushua is going to take down Esau's rulership. And he's going to set his kingdom on the earth. All you got to do is go to Revelations 5:10 to prove what I'm saying. All right? It says, these shall reign on earth. Right? When you go to Daniel, the 7th chapter, it talks about Yahushua having an everlasting kingdom. And we read Daniel 7. When you go to Daniel chapter 7, after it mentions all the empires, right? And it goes into all the empires and all that. When you read down, it talks about the everlasting kingdom, right? The everlasting kingdom, everlasting rulership. That's never going to be destroyed, man, right? And it says, and there was no more sea. Now, the sea there is referring to the people. When you go to Revelation 17 and I think it's 17 and 1, right? It goes and talks about the waters there. When you go into the meaning of the word waters, it goes into the Greek word udor, right? Which means many nations. And when you go to Revelation, scroll down to Revelation 17:15, it talks about the sea being referring to the people, right? So this is all that's what's happening. This is why Jacob's trouble's coming. This is why Esau's economy is collapsing, right? His kingdom is falling apart. Because this place called America is coming to an end. All right? This place called America is coming to an end, man. So, hey, man, I just had to read that. You know, Lord willing, this lesson's edifying. I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Wakakodash. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you, sincere brothers that scatter abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to you, sincere sisters that are listening in silence, as the scriptures command you to do so. I am the brother Mashiach Razakah. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. So, yeah, man, we're coming into some hard times, some perilous times. Things will be getting ready to turn up, man. More praying, more fasting. More praying, more fasting. Shalom.